of people say the F word, that rhymes with maggot. But whenever it starts coming out, how do I defend that shit? Because it's okay to say the N word. How do I do that? I'm the last person to say it because I done offended plenty of people over here. But how do I fix that within the genre
I
to when
think
I'm trying to
I have
represent
an
it
answer
to the
for you.
to other industry people?
I have an opinion for you on that. So I think it should. I think in your position that is someone that's still trying to discuss this genre with industry folks
Oh
is
no
to
no no
not
fam.
even.
Oh no no no. I don't try to. They call me.
Okay.
I've been disconnected from the genre. I haven't been listening to the genre. I've been listening to meditation
Okay.
shit. But they call me and then they ask me other stuff and then I usually just send them to y'all's podcast and like I don't know, bro. Go watch the country rap report. But then
Okay.
and these are connections from when I was sending them stuff, and they've been researching it, and then when they finally getting back to me, because music executive people are slow as shit, especially when dealing with budgets. But we in first quarter, there's money on the table, and they're trying to spend it. So when I'm getting calls, they're following back up on some other research that their research team has already done. But when they hitting me, I can't answer these questions, chief. And I don't
Hmm.
I don't want to have to be in a position to have to answer your question. It didn't come out of my mouth. So whatever that is, as a black person from other black executives, when they're asking me what's going on for the people that are in the genre, I can only speak from my perspective. And my perspective is there's talent here. As a valid A&R, if I were to do this, there's a shit ton of talent over here. But if you're gonna get the talent and take them the fuck out of them over here. Because what's over here, you're gonna have to deal with it. Because it ain't gonna change. And that environment is what it is. It's why the genre is what it is. Truthfully, in 2024, and until it changes, and it won't change unless it's changed from the top down, you got to deal with it as it is. It is what it is, as they say.
Hmm.
I'm I don't know what to do, Vic, and I if and this is me being transparent. I'm a fan of Church of his skills. Nigga can rap, and I just called him a nigga, and I don't feel bad about it because it's in my dialect. Because I
Well,
grew
hold
up
on,
in
hold
hip
on. Let
hop.
me, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there.
Right,
Now, there are
right,
some
right, right,
people, there are not some people who are watching this very episode
right,
who is going to say, see, it's okay to use the word. You just called him that.
right. But I'm
But
They're
black.
going to take that from
but
this.
I'm
but
black,
that's
and
so small minded
right,
and surface
and the
level.
context, and the context.
Everybody knows what that word means from white people, out
Right,
of white people's mouths.
right,
But
Everybody knows where that came from out of white people's mouths, right? So we
right.
all know there's not one person, everyone in country rap is adult or teenager. You know, you've heard of what that word does to black people,
Well,
right?
and in fairness, let's play devil's advocate. Church didn't use it in that context, but it's
No,
the
no,
fact that
no,
it was the word.
he
That's the
used
issue.
that's
he
the
used
issue.
it in the context. He used it in the context of the Webster dictionary.
The same way I used it for when I was just talking about him. Like that's my nigga. Like I
No,
use the word
that is
daily with my
But
children.
the
Vic,
context.
Vic,
The definition is ignorance.
right? That's the definition. But Vic, so I think
Well,
the
wait,
difference of what
now
he's
you're talking
saying,
about semantics.
I think the difference is that you know everyone understands. It's not when people think when people say are when people dis when people portray themselves as oblivious. So, oh my God, it's only the N word. It doesn't mean anything in a context of someone white saying it to another white person. And with that oblivious outlook on it, I agree with that little part of it, right?
If
But
if it if it didn't matter, we wouldn't be
when
having this discussion.
that word comes out of a white person's mouth, there are going to be, no matter what, or no, it doesn't matter how it was used, who it was directed to, right? There's going to be people that are going to be angry because it was used, period.
Well,
Doesn't
it's
matter
not
the
just
context.
again, it's not just that word. There's plenty of words that come out of people's mouths that will offend someone else.
Exactly.
The key in there is, if you know it is offensive, do I say it? And
Right. But the thing
we
is,
all know
everyone
that
knows
church is
it's
not
offensive.
stupid. Do I
Everybody
say it?
knows it's offensive. You can't point out one single human being in America and ask them if is do you think it's okay? Do you think people will be offended if a white person says the N word, or do you think white people will be offended if a black person says the C word? Like, that's
Right,
going to happen. We know
right.
that. We know that people are going to be upset. So if you don't care about upsetting people, right? There's levels of upsetting people. You don't have to upset somebody by saying the N word or saying the C word. You don't have to upset somebody that way. You can upset them a different way by using a different word or just actions that you do, right?
Right.
So you can offend people by just you being a non-black person. Even with there's black people that I don't think Puerto Ricans should say it. That Mexicans should say it. They don't think anybody else that's not black can say it. So
And there's words that they
this is
say
gonna
that we
happen.
can't say.
Huh?
And there's words that they say that we cannot say.
That we can't
We say,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm
So
not gonna call a Spanish person a
don't say
a
it.
S
Don't
word.
say it. Don't say it. Don't
I'm
say
not. I'm not.
it.
I wouldn't do that.
All right.
I'm not gonna call a Spanish person an S word. That's just not
Right.
gonna happen ever in my life. You feel me?
Gotcha.
So, but the thing is that other people don't think that way. They think
Right.
that they can say whatever they want to say, and because they can say it, they should be able to. But
But
it,
my
but is that type of thinking is what causes more problems.
Well,
If
I got
everybody knows the word, so why say it?
I got a question, Vic.
Why do you want to say it?
Yeah, that's well, it's a little late now. I got a question, Vic. Had I gone through with my radio station ambition and churches in heavy rotation, and this happens, what happens now? No, I'm
you know,
serious. Like, what are the ramifications of it happening now?
okay,
And
let me
I
let me
can.
let me be very honest. And let me
Okay.
be very honest. And if me and church had dialogue, if we
Okay.
spoke. So I reacted to the record. I
Right.
reacted to the record, number one, because it was trending. Number two, because I thought the wordplay was incredible. Number three, because it's a diss. Again, it's the algorithm. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So that's why I reacted to the record. I have respect for the record. I have respect for him as an artist. Now, I stream 4 days a week.
Right.
I will not play that record during my stream. And reason being, and I played plenty. I'm not pulling church records. I'm not saying I
Right.
won't play a church record, bro. My granddaughter don't watch the Country Rap Report,
Hmm.
but my granddaughter watches the Duel. My family don't watch the Country Rap Report because most they do, but the majority of my family all day, every day, locked into the Duel because of its time slot.
Right.
Okay, so as a streamer, I don't want to introduce that record to my live audience by him. Now, in all fairness, he could say, well, why do you play the songs that the African Americans say it? Because I do.
That's
And
fair.
that would be a fair question. That
Right.
would be
That's
a
a
very,
fair question.
and I'm gonna be very, very honest. And this is something people don't know about me because I incorporate country rap with independent hip hop. I literally cringe when I hear African Americans say it at this point.
Same.
Not
I
me.
literally, and that's something that my audience won't know. I literally inside say, dating, going back to this, how we started this conversation. When I told Ti, bro, y'all gateway, y'all
Well,
made this
well,
go.
what did you cringe because it's on the radio? Because that's the
No,
only
no,
reason I cringe.
no,
Because
no,
I use the word
no. I cringe when I play it
on
for those
radio.
people, when those people who watch my stream, whether it's TikTok, whether this, it's 1,000 people who watch that stream once a day between all 8 platforms. Over
Then
a
play
thousand.
edited. Play the edited version.
I ain't no edited versions. I don't. And look, I don't. Man, people nowadays, say, I don't, this internet, we ain't got no edit. You know how many times artists tell there when I was doing radio, yes, everybody had an edited version. No
Right.
one the only people who edit records now are those people who think they might get radio.
I got you.
Most artists who are going straight to streaming platforms, they ain't got time to spend no money on edit. And I literally cringe.
Okay.
I
That's fair.
I think and I'm gonna say this. Shout out to my friends of different races because I call them the N word all the time, and it's a major hypocrisy. And I'm here to say that I'm somewhat a peddler of hypocrisy because all my friends that are Hispanic, that are Caucasian, are called the N word on a daily basis. But I also tell them because I believe in boundaries and I believe in respect and I believe in being transparent. Every friend of mine know. Listen, I tell them, listen, man, this is something I'm working on. This is something that I do that I know I shouldn't. But as I embrace you and as these terms of endearment grow, you're going to be my N-word. But out of respect for me and what we're building, please don't make me your N-word. And all my friends respect that.
Right.
That's
And I'm
not even
telling
a
you,
conversation I ever have to have with a white friend. I don't.
no. What I'm saying is,
This is
Chief,
foreign to me.
Chief, what I'm saying is in advance. Like
Yeah.
say for instance, then you meet for the first time, we build a phone relationship, right? And
Mhm.
as the conversation get going, everybody who know me know I'm very animated. I'm like, man, my knee, them cowboys, man, my knee, them cowboys gonna kill them Falcons. And then I might say, look, bro, I apologize for calling you that. Chances are, if this relationship grows, I'm gonna call you that a lot more. I am working on it. I should not call you that. I should not call you that. But at my age, bad habits are hard to break. But please, out of respect for me and this relationship, don't make me your end because I'm not finna beat you up. I'm not finna curse you out. I'm gonna feel really ashamed of myself for giving you that opportunity because I opened those doors. But out of respect for me, trying to work on myself, don't reciprocate.
Well,
But
well, did
I think there's too much going on. I think it's really simple, man. I think it's very
Don't
simple. I just think that everybody knows what the word came from. So if you are a certain, if you are white, then you should not be saying the word, just period. However, there are certain situations where it is accepted by people. So for me, for example, it's not going to hurt me. You know, I've had people that are white have said it around me. It's cringe, you know what I'm saying? When you hear it, it's like shock. It's like, damn, you just said it, you know, but at the same time, I'm not angry about it. I'm not disrespecting them. I'm not saying, yo, watch your mouth. I'm not cursing them out. I'm not fighting them. I'm not fighting nobody. You know, you feel me? Like that's not my reaction. My reaction is within myself. But you won't hear me say, hey, don't be saying that shit. You know, it's not. You should know if you say it, then you say it. You're gonna end up one day saying it around somebody you shouldn't.
you
I've
don't you don't think you
so
should
I've
correct
been
that
through.
though?
I'm not
You don't
correcting no grown person, bro. You know what that means. You know, I mean,
I
you know
know,
where
but
it came from. You know where
I
it
think
came
it
from, and you know what it does to some people. So I'm
well,
not
well
correcting nobody. That's a point. It's
but
pointless.
we're giving two. I'm using both of y'all's examples. Vic's got 50 plus years of programming. He says the word, but he said a boundary. You got, I don't know how old you are, 30 plus years
Boy.
of programming, and you're not setting a boundary. So you're allowing it to continue to happen. This is what hip hop has done. Hip hop has done both of those things that Vic has done and what you are doing.
But people,
Hip
but
hop hip hop
that's
is
not on me.
programmed.
It's not on me to correct everybody.
It's not on you if you don't care, but it becomes on you when it starts to affect the people you and the people that are around you because you didn't set
Mhm.
that boundary. You allowed it to happen, and as long as you allow it to happen, it's going to continue to happen until you
Mhm.
stop it. Now, I'm not saying in whatever that circumstance is. We're just talking about whatever in general. Like
Mhm.
people have patterns of behavior, and they will continue to do that until you decide to change that pattern of behavior. Hip hop has programmed us that it's okay to say nigga. It's okay to think about women as bitches and hoes and sluts and they're just sex objects. Hip hop has now changed us to where we're objective about people of in the rainbow community. Like whatever they trying to deal with. Like now that programming is there, and people are, again, this is programming. People are putting all of this stuff in them. So when it comes back out of that, I don't think we're at fault as black people, even though most of the culture is black. But when in the context of country rap, I think certain words should not be put on wax, as in put on a record to be consumed by the masses. Even though that word is not that offensive to the people that are in the genre, and other actions and other words are not that offensive to people that are in the genre. I don't. And as I'm saying this shit out loud, I'm not mad at him for saying it because the people he was talking to don't give a shit.
Right. I'm not.
The only
I'm,
I'm
reason
not
we give
mad.
a
I'm
shit
not
is
mad that
because
he
we're
said it either.
it's a trigger word, but I don't, again, I can't believe I'm saying this shit out loud. Like I've said this shit to the same people, other executives, like, nigga, stop talking to me about this shit because I'm over it. I don't want to talk about it no more because it is what it is. I can't stop this man from speaking his mind. That's
And
his view.
so let me give you the context because what you just said right there is why I'm at the point where I'm at. So
Right.
I spent a lot of years, a whole lot of years, wasted my time discussing politics with people, wasted my time discussing police brutality to people. Nobody's changing their mind, bro. Nobody.
Right.
Nobody is changing their mind based upon a conversation that I can have with them. Right.
Right.
So that's why I choose to not go out of my way. Right.
But you don't have a mic. That's the difference.
But
If
but
if you if you
regardless,
had if you had a mic, then I think you might have a. Did you used to rap? Because you be
yes.
dissecting lyrics and shit. Okay.
Yeah.
As a rapper, you know the power of the microphone. You know the
Right.
power that being in front of a crowd, you're able to sway and wean people as they come and go.
Mm-hmm.
That microphone is super powerful. That microphone is a lot of responsibility too. It's those people who don't take that responsibility that I have issues with. It's those people that won't be like, you know what? I might not say fag in front of a room of gays when I'm not gay. Because if they probably gonna take it as being offensive, or I might not call this woman a bitch in front of her boyfriend because he might take it offensive, even though he might call her a bitch. You know that being, again, it's not about, it. Church said it in a different context. He said it in the context he was supposed to say it in, because he was programmed that way as a hip hop student. He was talking about whatever it is from whatever it is. But them other two words, the cracker and honky, he said it in the same context because it's within that community, and he said it
And
from
that's
one
okay.
person to another. All of that is okay. All three of them are okay, but each three could be trigger words to somebody that might be offended. Now he could have said fag because he definitely implied it at the
Mhm.
end of the rap. It was hilarious. But he didn't say that. I think he said something about a sausage or some other shit. I was like, all right, cool, but just say the word because you done offended everybody else on the other part. Just put everybody else on the bus. Fuck it, get it all over with. I don't. This has to be some sort of ongoing dialect because if the genre wants to grow and be taken serious, and this is the main reason we were doing Country Rap Report from the very beginning, there has to be a level of integrity there. And that level of integrity is so low right now from the industry's perspective, from outside looking in. We should not be answering any questions about what other people are doing within the genre. That shit should all be displayed on the music. The music should be displayed in the numbers. The numbers, you can go and look at the analytics, and all of that shit turns into money. That's all the shit that people need to be talking about over here on that side. But when we're getting questions about who's sleeping with who, or why is such and such saying such and such, like, this is some shit that is baffling to music executives, and we should have to answer this shit. I don't want to continue to have to answer this shit for the genre when the genre is better than this. This talent over here that would compete with probably top 100 people that are in hip hop. And I will stake my career on and life on that. But I can't get past the other shit that throws off the red flags to the executives. Because these are the niggas with the money. And they ain't even trying to put no money in some other shit that's gonna
But
cause
they
some
don't.
sort of red flag.
This genre doesn't care about that.
Well,
That's
we
Because
ain't talking about that.
that's
But
what
that's what I'm saying.
the
Then,
the
then the genre
the
will never
artists
grow.
in the genre have to care about that as far as expanding themselves, but they don't. The genre itself does not care about the industry at all. They're
The
not.
genre
You
will
know,
never grow then.
there's
but let me be honest.
individuals
Let me
that
be
want to
Are,
honest.
are,
grow
are we
industry, but
content
for
with
the
that?
most part, well, for the most part, they're this genre is against the industry. They're against the
Let me say
industry.
this.
They think the
Hold on, let
industry
me
is on
say
the
this.
same level as Hollywood and all of that. So they don't care about the industry.
Let me
So
say this. I hate to interrupt, Chief, but I don't want you to. I hear people saying they're against it.
mhm.
I'm not sure how much I believe that when the opportunities aren't there. I do you know how many artists I've heard say I'm gonna stay independent forever and got $1,000 check and sign their life away.
Yeah.
See, sometimes I'm gonna be honest, and this is how I truly feel. I don't think a lot of these artists are being honest and forthcoming because a $30,000 check would change 75% of these artists' life.
Right.
It's to some degree, the sheep mentality is to say, yo, we're gonna stay independent. It's cool to say that when that's what everybody's yelling.
Have you ever? I know we all heard the term. You made your bed, now lay in it. This is the bed that some people are making. They're taking the stance of being against the industry. So to those people, right? Not all and not everybody, but to those people who feel that way, that's on them. Like if they don't want to be a part of the industry, and somebody comes with 50 grand and says, "Hey, let's get you in the studio and this behind you, that behind you, let's get a machine behind you," and they're from the industry, and they say no, that's on that person. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is there's majority of the people who say that they're not for the industry and they're not trying to be a part of the industry. And if some of those people are lying about that, then they're making their own bed and sleeping in it. You can't feel like, oh, if somebody came to me with 100 grand, I'm taking it, but then on the outside also say, nah, I'm not fucking with the industry. I wouldn't take that 100 grand. So you're not even going to get the offer at all. And whose fault is that?
You know
That's
how I
your
know
fault, the
most. You
artist.
know, you know how I know most of these people are lying because if they make $10 an hour on their job and they get a job offer from another company to make 11, they go.
Mm-hmm.
They go. They're a lot of these artists are speaking on the unthinkable because they don't think it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people be on jobs for 20 years and make $25. Brand new company coming to town, offer them $26.50, and they out of there. So you're not gonna tell me I don't care, and I know they're not telling the truth. I think most of these artists don't even understand how to get to that level, to even fathom, okay, not one of these.
Then don't speak
Most
on it,
artists,
yo.
most,
That's
most they don't speak on it because they don't believe it's possible.
That's
that's
most
on
of the
them.
genre.
That's they
The-
low
the-
self-esteem about they whack ass music. But if you know your music's great, you shouldn't feel that way.
Because I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I love independent hip hop, but
Me
I
too.
know the money. I know the money these bring. I know what it's like to not have to go worry about my Christmas shopping money because I know I have what is called a royalty check coming. They don't even understand that. So it's easy to be sheep because number one, the the the, the people educating them or half educating them or not educating themselves. Most people think I'm that's why I hear things like I don't belong. Because to them, I'm what's viewed as the industry. Where in actuality, low key, they want to know how you get them. What you had to
I
do to get
mean,
there.
real talk now, we don't belong now.
Well, that's
Let's
the
be
whole.
on. We got 30 plus years of music
We don't
industry
belong.
experience
We don't
between
belong
both
in
of
the
us.
music business. This is
No,
the
we don't
music.
belong. we talking about in country rap. We
It's the
don't.
music business.
The reason we came over here was for to provide some sort of level of professionalism and integrity because it severely lacked it. And we during the times that we were here, we were trying to improve it, and we were calling out the stuff that went against that, the integrity and the unprofessionalism, like the lack of production or the low production quality or the ass videos that were getting shot. Like all that stuff we called out just so they can up their game. But if they are, if Chief is saying they don't give a fuck and ain't trying to up their game, what's the point of me even talking? Because if you
Well,
just
no,
want to be,
that's
do
different.
this shit as a hobby, I'm not for that. I'm trying to help you get better. I'm trying to get you ready for the industry because eventually they're going to come over here. They just might not be as obvious. It's going to be some covert shit because there's too much money over here being moved around and it's uncontrolled. Eventually they're going to come, and it's going to be with somebody that's going to look just like them, that was going to be unassuming and non-threatening. That'll be the ideal person. And I don't know what that. It won't be somebody with gold teeth. It won't be somebody that has all of these hip
Shout out
hop
to Avery.
mannerisms and shit.
Shout out to
Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that stuff coming. It's going to be somebody that looks like regular Joe or regular Jane. That's who the industry will use to infiltrate country rap. And then they will take them through here and move them out of country rap into either mainstream rap or into country. Now we done seen what the example of country looks like because he's on the Grammy stage tonight with Jelly Roll. He's the example of what country rap should be looking at as an example. But we're not looking at him because he's elevated and moved out. But
Mhm.
now the example that we're looking at, which is making all the news and headlines, is someone else who has just as much talent. I'm pretty Church can rap better than Jelly, right? I ain't gonna fuck around and say he doesn't. But Jelly can. Well, neither one of them can sing. 'Cause I hate singing. Period. But I think the genre has a lot of question marks to it. But if and I'm again I'm saying this out loud. If you are telling me that the majority of the folks don't want the professionalism and don't want the industry influence and or professional expertise, again, why are we talking?
No, so what I'm saying is that people don't care. So like that's
You
the
don't want to
reason
make
why I'm
money?
here. The reason
You don't
why
want to make
I'm
money?
here. Well, the reason why I am here is to
Okay.
do exactly what you're talking about, help elevate folks. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm critiquing your music and I'm saying that this is dope, this is dope, this is dope, this is dope, and I don't have nothing bad to say about it, you probably on the right path, right? But
Right, right, right.
if I have something to interject that is not negative, not per se negative, because I've only been negative a very very few times to artists. It's
Hmm.
always this isn't such so good, but I would do this, or I would, I try to give advice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that is trying to help elevate at my level. So, but
But should
when,
you? No,
huh?
knowing that they don't want industry or don't want to
I'm
move
not in
up
industry.
throughout the industry. No, I'm saying you're not industry, but you're giving industry expertise.
I'm giving expertise from a rapper, not from an industry. So if some of what I'm saying is on par with what is acceptable in the industry, then that's
Hmm.
one thing. But I am not speaking for the industry. I've never been a part of
Gotcha.
it.
I got you. I
I
got
don't
you.
have any contact with anyone in the industry. Well, besides you two, you know.
I
But
respect that.
so that's not where I'm coming from with. But also, what I would suggest, if you decide that when people call you and they ask you about this, you still have the opportunity that I don't have or that some others don't have to be like, yeah, I don't agree with that or whatever the case is. But listen to these. I'll direct you to these people because these people are fire.
Right.
So you still have that ability to be able to get different people noticed by people who would come in and say, hey, let's have a conversation about your career. you know so I would say direct your conversations, if you wanted to that instead of talking about that, because you can't speak for that man. That man is way above. He's up here, he's up there,
That's true.
he's
That's
the
true.
top of the genre. So you can't speak for someone that feels like they can speak whatever, they can say
Right.
anything.
Right.
So what I would do is just direct that to other people, but hey, such and such is fire. You looking for a female artist? Jessie B. Go check Jessie B out. She don't use that type of inflammatory language at all.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I come from with that part.
Let's wrap it up. I think we all should end with a closing statement because this is gonna be way too longer than we normally been doing. We try to keep them to an hour.
That's how these conversations get, though.
I'm gonna say
Facts.
this. I'm gonna, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna start it off. I want to start off by saying number one, I have the utmost respect for Upchurch and the music he makes and the artist he is. I also understand emotion. I also understand freedom of speech. Him using the word didn't offend me because I've grown and I try to elevate, but I will say I'm not comfortable playing it for people who might not have as much understanding as me, because it not only puts himself in a negative light, which he probably doesn't care, but it puts me in a light of acceptance. And I don't want to start accepting that. Do I blame hip hop for making it acceptable? Absolutely. When you can have a number one record in the country called My Ninja, My Ninja, My Ninja. When you can have an artist, like Boosie come on stage, be on stage, bring a Caucasian fan on stage, and say, "Go ahead, bro, sing the lyrics. It's okay." But then you can have an artist like YG on stage with a Caucasian fan, and when he said, chastise him. Number one, as a person who came from hip hop, and contrary to what people in country rap think, country rap is hip hop.
Yeah.
Don't think hip hop is for the black folks and country rap is for the white folks. Country rap is from hip hop. There's no other way to say it. You cannot have country rap without hip hop. You can have hip hop without country rap, but you can't have country rap without hip hop. You can't.
Right.
You can't get away from it. So, to me, I think number one, church being the leader, as I start off by saying, the pendulum mover. Don't shit shake without church too much over here. Even though he expresses freedom of speech, I think if he's self-made. He's a self-made millionaire. Everybody can't be self-made. Some people will need the help of the industry to move their families out of the trailer parks, the holler. Some people will need the industry to help employ their cousins, and aunties, and people who have skill sets that can be utilized. Sometimes I feel like he has to be bigger than himself and take one for the team, knowing all the eyes is on him. But bro, you could damn well be stopping someone's son from becoming a millionaire because the labels didn't come in. Because everybody don't know how to be an entrepreneur.
True.
Everybody don't know how to be an entrepreneur. So it's easy for you to say, be independent, be independent, be independent. Everybody don't know how to do that. Some people need help. That's why people have jobs. I think sometimes he's one of the most talented artists in music. But sometimes I think he should say, I want this thing to grow. In order for this thing to grow, I'm independent. But I need to also educate the people on how this other side can help them. Because guess what? All the artists I've ever heard him say were his favorite weren't independent. One of his favorite artists of all time is Elvis Presley. He was not independent. And again, I say the word and I shouldn't. I know everybody wants to hang their hat on it's just a word, but the word comes from a hateful place. And if we can't make that hateful place disappear, then we need to understand that there are some people that's going to always take it as a hateful word. And that goes to everybody who says it's just a word. Then convince the people that died behind it. Convince the families of the people that died behind it, it was just a word. Convince the people who the last word they heard was that before a hanging of a noose, a cracking of a whip, or a crack of a billy club. Convince them people that the last word they heard was just a word. And then I'll agree with it's just a word. But it came from a bad place. Unfortunately, Tupac made it cool by saying, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. But guess what? If church was using it in the manner of never ignorant, getting goals accomplished, then I don't think he's referring to Tom McDonald. I rest my case on that.
I mean, go next or what?
Yeah, you can go ahead, T.
Well, can I say something about what you just said?
You might as well go ahead and go next then.
Oh no, I ain't ready because I probably won't say much. But there's varying levels of independence. They need to understand that. Like the headlining act. Go ahead.
Speaking of varying levels of independence, we just had an independent artist win 3 Grammys tonight.
Who that?
Killer Mike. So yes, there are varying levels of independence. Killer
He
Mike
did have album of the year.
Yeah,
he did have album of the year though. He should have won. But I mean, we're about to see Usher headline the Super Bowl next week. Usher's independent. Usher signed to Gamma. Gamma isn't one of the big 3. Even though they got billions of dollars in resources, it's still an independent. Rick Ross is independent. He's over there with Gamma. Like there's varying levels of independence. Like what is independent to the genre? Not being signed to Sony, Universal, or Warner Brothers. That's fine. You can do that. There's plenty of motherfuckers they won't be doing it. What happens if you sign to a subsidiary of Sony? Yeah, or who is Epic is owned by I think Sony. So if you sign to Epic, are you independent? Because they're owned by Sony, which is a major. But I don't know what this perception is of being quote unquote independent is, because it has nothing to do with it. It's about the resources and the wherewithal. Back to what I was asking you about the radio station. If Church was in major rotation right now, after this happened, he would be getting the R. Kelly treatment.
Absolutely.
Not only would he be pulled off of radio, his ass would not be on Spotify. He would not be on Pandora. But because he is who he is, one, he doesn't give a fuck. But because he is who he is, he needs to understand that because of those ramifications of what possibly could happen. This is where the team needs to get involved. It's not about this is what's going to happen. It's about the possibilities of if I do this and or say this right here might happen, and it's going to affect my money. This is what you don't want to happen. You don't want nobody to be looking at their pockets like where my money went, because you don't want I think you got 2 million or 1.5 million monthly listeners on Spotify. That's $3,000 a month. If you're getting 1 million streams a month, but you probably get more than that. You don't want that to go away because that's a revenue stream that you're going to lose on one DSP. There's 14 of them that pays majorly anywhere in that bracket of 3,000 and 5,000. If this was a tour that he was on that he wasn't funding himself and somebody else was funding it, you would be losing some dates right now. But those venues aren't owned by you. There might be some venue owners that might be like, hold on, fam. I don't want to put this shit in here because, this dude like doing this and I ain't comfortable with that. There might be some boycotts out front. There might be some people tripping. Like this is all the shit that you and your team need to be thinking about, because you're the epitome of the genre. You're not just a rapper over here randomly rapping. You are the example. So you have this burden of being country rap. And I'll say it is what it is. You are country rap. So accept that burden. With that burden, with great responsibility. No, with great power comes great responsibility. You got to own all of that, fam. Or however that looks for you, you and your team need to be reevaluating some shit. Like if I would implore you not to say nigga no more, I would implore you not to say honky or cracker or anything else that might offend folks. You can troll all day. I'm not against that because that shit was hilarious. But you got to be weary of these words that are falling out of your mouth and your actions that you're doing because it's not just you that is, I guess I did start taking over, didn't I, Chief? It's not just you that is affecting this. You are the genre. So you are the example. Everybody over here that is a part of country rap is affected by church. Ain't no way of getting around that. Like Vic said, you are the pendulum. How you move, the entire genre moves. So if you doing fuck shit, and I'm not saying that you are, the entire genre is going to be expected or think that it's okay to do the same fuck shit, but it isn't, because you are the example. The level of integrity still isn't where it needs to be over here. The level of professionalism has increased a little bit because the production value has increased. The videos have gotten better. I'm still seeing logos and shit in videos, but I don't know what the fuck is up with that. But y'all need to fix that shit still. But the rap skills has probably increased tenfold since we started. You know, but I think because the number one guy over here has always had this level of rap skill that very few people can fuck with. The industry is looking at that. Everything else that comes with that, these the other little distractions, that's not a good look for the entire genre. And I know you don't care because you're independent, but there's 100, close to 1,000 other artists over here that probably is like, damn, I gotta, what am I gonna do about that? Like somebody might have been taking a meeting with Warner Brothers next week, and Warner's gonna be like, well, you in country rap, and you do this too. You believe this, and God forbid if them people that's on the other side of that table is black. That meeting's over with before it got started. So that I don't want to give nobody this burden unless you can handle it. And I think he can handle it. He just needs to not be as vocal and be so much in the public. This burden of being the genre and being the representative of an entire genre has never been seen in music. And Vic can attest to this because he knows hip hop better than I do. No one has ever represented an entire fucking genre and put it on their shoulders. And we've seen it as it evolved. Like Average Joe's had the opportunity to do it back in the day, but that didn't happen. They did it a different way as a label, and it grew, but it reached its peak. It could have peaked a little bit more had they involved radio and all this other stuff, but that didn't happen. You are the example, bro. You are that nigga, and I said it in a positive way. You have to be the representative for Jesse B, Coca, West 10, Paw Paw Fresh, your producers, your DJs. You are that. So whenever you're out in the public, however you're doing it, especially when you're on camera, you have to act accordingly. And whenever you do something that's not going to be taken well, and there's some shit that it might be some minor stuff. You might fart and somebody catch it on camera. And then they're gonna be like, well, church is out here farting. Okay, well, it's okay for us to fart too. Now I'm just using that as an example because that fart can go to other things, like going through drive-throughs and calling out sex offenders. I'm not saying that was the wrong thing to do. I'm saying that could be handled a little bit different had your team gotten involved and structured a different way. Like all of that was a mess. Were you signed, you've probably been dropped the next day. But because you're independent, there's no ramifications for you. You're like, fuck it, I can do whatever I want to. But you can't, because there's other people on that in the entire genre that now thinks that everything that you're doing is okay. And if you can do it, I can do it too, or I'm at least try to do it. It's not okay, dude. You are, and again, I'll say it again. You probably top 100, might even be top 50 rappers, skill set wise. And I'll give him 100. I can't put you in top 50 yet, fam. But you definitely top 100 in a rap ability, minus the words. And it's the words for me that probably won't let me put you in the top 50. And it's because of the lack of empathy that comes from saying some of the words that you say. So I would implore you and your team to just think about the burden of being church. Just the burden of being the representative for an entire genre. If you don't want it, it's too bad because you are it. You can look at your views, you can look at your comments, you can look at your likes, you can look at your subscribers to attest for what I'm saying. This isn't some shit that I'm just making up. You are it. You are the genre. If you don't want it, too bad, bro. you, and if you want to continue to act the way that you are, and I'm not saying that you're acting out or in a negative way, but know that how you are acting, there's possible ramifications of it for it, not just for you. There's a selfishness in that that I can't tolerate because it's not about you. And this is some shit that I would just say to you. It's to everybody that picks up a mic and gets in front of the camera that represents the genre, any genre. You are a representation of that genre. And you do something dumb, the entire genre looks bad. So now the entire genre has a black spot or stain on it, and now everybody else that's in the genre has to ask questions about their peers, person that they rubbing shoulders with is on the same level, that's in the same genre. That's unfair. You shouldn't make them have to answer questions for your task or for shit that you done. So please, like, reevaluate. Just got it. I'm in closing. I'm not answering any more questions about the genre. If somebody needs to know, you got to do your own research. And I've said this to music executives. I can't do it because I don't have the tolerance. Because I have a very weak demeanor when it comes to racism. And when any of those things pop up, I can't tolerate it. I run from it. So I'm the last person to try to be an advocate for somebody being, speaking their mind and having free speech until you say those words. Then it's like, oh shit, I got to leave the room because I'm hot and bothered, in a bad way, and when I shouldn't be because it's just words. Because I can call a woman that I know a bitch and a hoe in a second, but I would never call that to my wife. It would never fall out of my, and I wouldn't allow you to say it to my wife. But I would rap those lyrics for WAP all day. And I know the words to WAP all day. But Cardi B won't even play them same fucking lyrics in front of her children because she knows those words are sometimes damaging based on whoever's listening to it. Y'all got to understand that. Sometimes them words be taken in the wrong way based off of whoever's ears is going to fall on. So please keep that in mind going forward.
Jay,
So I'm gonna break this down. It's really is there's not much to it with me, man. Like my whole life I've grown up around white people, so there's not much to it. I know plenty of white people that just don't use the word. They don't have no desire to use the word. They don't ask me, Chief, why can't I say nigga? It's not something that happens. We're adults. We don't. It's like this is my thing. Like because
Right.
even to this day, even though I stopped getting into politics and discussing that stuff because a lot of that's race issued. Um, one thing I can't stop commenting on is racism from any side,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
you would. I hope nobody that knows me would be surprised. I hope nobody that watched this show would be surprised if I told you that I always argue with black people about their views on white people.
I'm not.
Always. Because
I'm
it's
not.
ridiculous. It is ridiculous. The same type of shit that some black people say, they don't want white people to say, but
Right.
they say it.
Right.
Just, it's real simple. It's real simple. If you care about people at all, So for example, I'll do this first. Everybody knows that I'm an Army veteran, right? I went to Iraq, to a war zone. For everybody in this country to have the right to say what it is that they want to say, have their right to burn the. You think it makes me happy when I see people burning the flag? Do you think it makes me happy when I hear people? I still see people arguing about racism still to this day. Do you think it's okay with me that white people get beat up and murdered by police also? Do you like this is what people need to understand. If you are for the human race like people say they are, then you should not want to engage in certain things. I don't want to say the C word because I don't want to offend people for no reason. If I'm going to offend you, it's because you did something. You did it. That man down the road, he didn't do nothing to me. So why would I be mad at him for something that you did, right? So when the N word is used, like I said already, I'm not hurt by it. I'm not infuriated. I'm not mad. I'm not pissed off. I do cringe because it's like it's shocking for me still to this day to hear a white person say the N word. But I'm not gonna just go crazy about it. That's definitely not gonna happen, right? Especially when I can tell that you're not being racist. I can tell that Upchurch is not being racist. So why would I be mad because he said the word? I'm not mad. It doesn't matter to me. So, and it should be that way for majority of people. You know, that's what I would hope. You know, for humanity is for us to get over all this bullshit. Because you're right, Spank. We should be talking about the song.
Right.
We should be talking about the bars, bro. Like I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not always a fan of Upchurch's flow, and I've said this before. Like his flow, on some songs and on this battle record, it's just some of where his words land is off to me. You know, because I'm used to hearing a certain type of way of listening to rap. He has his own. He has his own way of rapping. You know what I'm saying? He
I
doesn't
think
sound
I
like
think
anyone.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think most of the record, I think he was fucking with Tom by rapping like Tom. So
Yeah.
he was like
Exactly.
using it as a parody. You know, like
Right.
well, fuck it, I can rap better than you using your style. You
Doing
know,
you.
Well,
which is the ultimate diss. So
I could do you
again,
better than you could do you.
right,
actually, actually,
Yeah.
he spoke on that 2 months ago that he was going to
right.
start making records sounding like other artists.
Oh, he
That
did
is
say that.
that's
Yeah.
the ultimate troll, bro. Like
Yeah.
that is. Oh, I
He
love that.
he basically on his story said, you know what? Forget getting y'all for features. I'm just gonna rhyme sounding like y'all. And
And making fun of folks.
I think he's been trolling before this record came for about 60 days. And I think a lot of people have no clue that he's been setting this up for about 60 days.
Mm.
Yo, so I want to go here with it, bro. Out real quick, just to finish out my thought. I want to go here with it. So this goes back to rappers, right? Me as someone that's reacts to and reviews artists, right? I'm going to always say what it is that I feel like I want to say about certain situations, right? None
Right,
of you out there are gonna tell me how I should feel about it. You feel me? Like you can want to hear my thoughts on it, but you're not gonna sit there and tell me how I need to react to it. You're not
right,
gonna tell Vic how he needs to react to it. You're not gonna
right,
tell Spank how he needs to react to it. Okay? We're gonna all react to it how we see fit and how we want to react to it. So if we don't want to react and cause controversy, then that's just what it is. If you just don't
right,
care about it, that's just what it is. If it doesn't affect you like that, that's what it is. But you the fucking rapper, bro. You the
Right.
rapper. So if you want to leave, if this goes to anybody, you want to leave the country rap report community, you want to leave the platform, I'm gonna chuck up the deuces like Chris Brown. It's a piece for me, bro. It's a piece for me
Oh, now,
because because I'm just saying this. This is for me. You know, this is for me. It's a piece for me because if you decide that you want to leave because we didn't react the way you want us to react, but whenever anyone is displayed on Country Rap Report and we show love, show love, show love, if you and you continue to show love, and that's pretty much all you do on this show is show love, right? And someone wants to leave the platform because you didn't react how they would want you to react, then it's a piece for me, bro. You wasn't really here for the community anyway. Then it's a piece for me, bro, because you know that's not how we are. You know we not fake, but you gonna get on your shit and say somebody fake. That's sad right there, bro. That's sad right there. So if you want to leave the community, that's fine. We're still, whoever wants to stay here, whoever new wants to come on in, we welcome you. Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in. But if you want to bounce, then just bounce, bro. Because all we do is show love to folks, man. And one time something don't go your way, you want to slide.
They ain't sliding. Oh, they ain't
That's all.
sliding.
I'm done.
They
I
sliding
ain't got
now.
nothing to say. They slide now. But
I'm
you
gonna say,
were though. If you don't like what you said, then you say something on that microphone, bro. Straight
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
well, to me, just to piggyback off what you said, the people that are upset about me not handling the way they see fit, it's deeper than what they're saying. And that's the one thing I don't like. When you hide behind something and make somebody else the scapegoat, it's deeper than what they're saying. And unfortunately, because of my character and my personality, and I'm a very, very nice guy, but most of the time when people have issues with me, it's easier to discuss it on a camera than on the phone. And unfortunately, that hurts me, but I understand it because most people don't like standing beside the truth.
And it's not
Right.
only on camera; it's on the camera without you, with
Oh
just
yeah,
themselves. That's the difference. Because if you're on the camera with somebody, you're still having a conversation. But if you're
absolutely.
not willing to have a conversation with the person and you just want to say what you want to say, then that's just unacceptable because you're not trying to bridge the gap. You're trying to
I,
make a bigger gap.
I do have a question for both of you guys now that we're talking about it. For some reason, I am generally in the midst of the beefs. And Spank, when you was here, Chief, when you was here, or Chief, you're here. For some reason, am I an easy target? Like, what is that?
You're nice. That's why. You're a nice person. You
Like,
don't go negative. You don't go
am I
low with
that,
people.
am I that nice, Spank?
Yeah,
I am that nice?
you are.
Oh, okay.
See, for me, if somebody would have went on microphone and said something, even after this, if you go on the camera and you say something to me, bro, I'm not taking the high road. We're gonna have words. Now, if we discuss it on the phone, that's one way. Or if we just gotta do short by short or story by story, I'm cool with that too. But we're gonna have words, bro. And that's just what it is. You're not just gonna say whatever about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that Vic just takes that because he does it. He speaks for himself, but he's just nicer about it. You know, if
I be
if
wanting to
people
Oh,
talk.
want to
oh,
stay, if people want to stay cordial and have discussions and disagreements, we could do that. That's cool. I'm for that as well.
he
But
got a
notice that
limit now.
notice that I said as well.
There is a limit now. And you when Purple Blind come out, you know when that come out, like somebody finna get a phone call, and
Mm-hmm.
they finna talk,
They
Mm-hmm.
don't. They
and
don't.
it ain't.
They don't talk.
It,
Some
well,
people don't pick the
they
phone
finna
up.
listen, and I'm pretty sure your tone won't be as calm as it is right now, but you gonna get your point out, and it be justified because, like I said, you're a nice guy, and if they poking and they poking and they poking, you earn this cussing out, so accept it, because he ain't did shit. This man over here trying to uplift an entire genre on his dime, and started doing this by himself,
And
and
on his
y'all got
time.
on his time. He got two jobs, making the time for it, and y'all got the nerve to come at somebody who's trying to make your environment better. Shame on y'all. Like, in my words, it's fuck y'all. But I'm this ain't mine. And I'm definitely very confrontational because if there's some shit is said, you know, I need for the apology to be as loud as the disrespect. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're disrespectful in one level, I'm probably going to be a little bit level higher coming back at you, and we can go tit for tat. But I know that isn't good for the platform because this is media. In media,
Hey,
yeah, we can have an opinion and we can have some sort of bias, but when you're in the media and you're probably the leading media in the genre, there's certain shit that we can and cannot do just as a representation for the genre and the brand. So I'll get on that one when I decide,
hey.
or whenever my wife decides what she's going to do. But This there is no reason why anybody should be coming at you about why somebody else said whatever, or how a black man isn't upset because somebody said the N word. Like, words are interpretive, and all three of us have varying opinions of it, as you can see from this very episode. Like, we took it a certain way. We have our own interpretation of how that word was meant coming from this guy, and the only person who knows how it was meant is the dude who said it. We're just going off of how we heard it as three black men hearing a word come out of this white man's mouth, and that word is offensive to some people. Then it isn't offensive to all of us, but it's something that we know as media people, that when that word is said, whoever's face it falls out of, there's going to be some, oh shit, who listening? Because whoever's listening, based on whoever is listening, then that will be how they feel about the word, and from those feelings come a lot of other stuff, whether it's some sort of reaction, some sort of emotional reaction internally, like a whole bunch of other shit comes out of it. Again, that word, that was one of three words that y'all said that he said, and I even missed him saying honky. I knew he said cracker, but those words, damn, I wish I could talk to church. Like, this is probably an interview by itself, just
See,
like, bro, like,
but those
why did you
words,
say these?
but those two words, I feel the
Right,
same way about those two words coming from a white person as I do about the N word coming from a black person. Same thing.
right,
If you're
right.
white, you can say that.
Well,
I don't have no
these
issue
are
with it.
these are our interpretations, though.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how we feel about it. But I don't even know how a white person feels about it. I never asked, truthfully, and I'm 50 something years old. I never asked them, what does honky mean, or what does cracker mean when you say it. Like, I've never asked anybody, so I don't know the answer to that question. And I would like to know, just from word interpretation, and how to deal with people when I'm saying stuff. But I typically don't say stuff that I don't. I say shit that's offensive, but I don't say words like that are offensive. I'll offend you with the truth. I'll offend you with what I feel like it from my professional and expertise in the music industry, and then I give you that. But I'm not saying it to be malicious. I'm saying it so you can be better, because I want you to be better in the music industry. Like, I'm not coming at anybody with any negative input or reviews or any of that other shit just to make them feel bad. I want you to be great. But in order for you to be great, you need to fix your production. You need to stop putting logos and shit in your videos. You need to get a better camera. You need to not have angles where there's glares and shit in there. Like, all of that shit is applicable for a professional industry standard. But if they don't want the industry standard, again, why do I need to talk? Because if y'all don't give a fuck, and if they're gonna treat us like, well, why are these clowns over here, quote unquote? That was the word that was said. Why are they over here? Like, what's the point?
I can tell you why. I can tell you why we over here. Because this is still hip hop. Some
Yeah, but
bitches.
they didn't ask us to come
It's
over here
still
though.
hip hop. That's why
But
I'm over here.
they didn't ask us to come over here. I think they would be more acceptive
You don't
if
matter. You don't have
there
to
was
ask.
some. Well,
Black people didn't ask white people to buy their records, but they do
well,
because they love it.
that's a whole nother thing.
And
That's a
I'm
whole
over
nother
here
thing.
because I love it. You know what I'm saying? So,
That that's
same
a
thing.
that's a we didn't determine
Yeah.
that. That's an industry
Oh,
thing in
no.
target marketing. Man down.
I think we lost Chief.
Well, I see his phone. Yeah, he gone now.
I just took him
Why
off because
would
he's
I? Okay, you kicked him off. Oh, he
well,
kicked
yeah.
himself off.
And now I took him off because he's frozen.
Okay,
He
cool.
probably
All right,
just died. Let's
all
wrap it
right.
though, because I gotta get this thing edited. I wanted to drop
Oh
this.
no, I'm good. I've said my piece. I just want this man to know he's bigger than what he think he is. I said that in the interview, and it's still applicable to today. To today,
More, more so,
yeah,
more.
yeah,
All right, sir.
yeah.
Appreciate you. I'm gonna wrap it up and again, man, appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all having me. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you guys have been educated, enlightened, or entertained. Shout out to my guy Chief. Shout out to my guy Spank. Um, again, this is going to be something that will be discussed for years to come, especially as the genre continue to grow. We're all going to have difference of opinions on it, probably now and forever. But just know, to some people, it's more than a word, and you won't be able to convince them, no matter what context you use it, based upon the mouth that says it, and that's on both sides of the fence. One doesn't outweigh the other. These words are hurtful to some people. All right, this is boy Big XL. That was Spank. That was Chief. We are the Country Rap Report. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and remember, time is the one thing you can't get back. If you chose to watch this episode of the Country Rap Report, you all appreciate it. Till next episode, peace.
I've been playing in the creek. Muddy water, baptized, blessed, and I'm bringing that heat. Just let me speak. Yeah, we be putting in work and we about to eat. Ready to feast. Know that they tell you 100 that money don't sleep. It's waiting on me. It's waiting on me.